Ungipakalanga kulilanga kan ragnon kanavaha taluru hlanga kong. Let me tell you a story. I'm going to disappear into the light. Hwanga yupis tun at kayari, sivo kamang tingo nga sivo ngamang, ay maram ka ng hlusan na kamalingon ng hwanga dagi kaonga. My Yupik name is Yari. I am from Alaska, from St. Lawrence Island, which is located in northwest Alaska. I am from the village of Sivunga. My clan people on my father's side is Aymaramka, and my subclan is Sandagamilngok. And today I'd like to speak about Masingka, which is a word that comes from my people that translates into good-spirited human. Ungipakaningok imani, a long time ago, when Creator first made Earth, He put all kinds of animals in every part of the world. He put the first youth, the first human in the kayak. The kayak washed up on the beach. The animals were curious. They pulled in the kayak, and inside there was a creature. He was sleeping. And the animals looked at him and said, "Look at this creature. He's not going to survive. He's going to freeze to death. He doesn't have fur like us." And the polar bear said, "He can't hunt like us. He doesn't have claws or teeth like us. He's certainly not going to make it. And we're going to call him Yuk." That's right, he's human. We must give ourselves to this human because without us he won't be able to survive as long as he respects us. Eventually the Yuk woke up. The animals looked at him and said, "You are Yuk. You're human. We have decided together as animals that we will give ourselves to you. But you must treat us with respect. You cannot take more than what you need. You must not waste, and you must share." And the Yuk and the animals made an agreement. And that's why Alaska Native people, when we hunt and we gather, we try to utilize everything as much as we possibly can. This story falls under Masingka, a good-spirited human. It teaches us how to respect the animals. My oldest son is a whale hunter. He makes his own harpoons, his own hunting tools. And my son shared with me that when he makes his harpoons, he likes to make them by hand, and he takes his time. He said, "I don't like to use modern-day tools because I want to make them the same way my ancestors made them, by hand." And my son said when he makes his harpoon tips, when he makes his harpoons, he takes his time. And he tries to make them as beautiful as he can because the animals can see you and they can feel you. And my son shared with me that he takes care of his hunting tools because when you do that, the animals will give themselves. One day, my son was out hunting with his father and his uncle, and they spotted a bowhead whale, and they decided to pursue it. And they were alone out there. You cannot do a whale hunt alone. It's impossible. It's a community effort. So his father announced it on the CB radio. And my son said the bowhead whale stayed in the vicinity. And their boat came up to the bowhead whale, and my son harpooned it. And my son said, the bowhead whale didn't really move as if it gave itself to us. So they came around again, and my son harpooned it again. The second time he harpooned it, the whale turned to its side. And when it does that, that means the whale is almost dead. And he said he could see the whale moving its eye around. It was looking around. And my son said, the whale and I made eye contact. We locked eyes. And the whale spoke to me. And I asked my son, what did the whale say? My son said, the whale said, I am thankful to give myself to a deserving hunter. Thank you for taking care of your tools. Thank you for taking care of your people. I give myself to you. And my son said the whole time he was crying because he can feel the energy of the whale. So my son harpooned the whale one more time. The third time he harpooned it, he killed the whale. And the whole time this was happening, his father was on the radio announcing every detail so the rest of the hunters can come. And his uncle told my son to sit on top of the whale. So my son got on the whale, got on his knees, and he began to pray. Our word for pray in our language is yorak. There's many different forms of prayers. And my son said, when I was on top of that whale and I was praying, I was crying the whole time. This was the closest I've ever felt to Kiyanok, to Creator. So that is a part of spirituality. Spirituality falls under being Masingka, a good-spirited human. So some of the things that I practice as a Masingka is my grandfather taught me that we are all equal, that we should never look up or look down at people because we are all equal. And he said when we are leading a group of people, we use love, kindness, and respect. Never look down at people. And you never yell at them or shame them, because when you do that, people will not want to be led by you. So you treat them with positive emotions and kindness and love and respect. And you use spirituality in your everyday life. You put good energy into everything that you do, whether it's your personal life, work, or for school. So for instance, as a tribal healer myself, I remove negative energies from my entire being because everything is alive, everything has a spirit. Everything is connected one way or another. And one of the most valuable connections is people to people, because people cannot survive without each other. So as a tribal healer, once I remove negative energies, when I go out to gather plants for medicine, I speak to Mother Earth before I take, because what grows out there does not belong to man. It belongs to her. Some of us can hear Mother Earth respond to us, those of us who are spiritually gifted. If she says no, you say thanks anyway, and you move on to a separate location. And when you move on to the next location and Mother Earth says yes, you only pick a quarter of what's there because you want to make sure it grows back the next year. You also want to make sure that you leave some behind for others. And when I'm done picking the plants that I need for medicine, I give back to her, because you don't just take, you always give back. I have a bag of dried plants, and I practice a ritual. And I give Mother Earth some dried plants. Thank you for the medicine. Thank you for taking care of us. I give back to her and let her know that I appreciate the plants that she gives us as medicine and as gifts. So that falls under Masingka. Another thing that I practice is, my grandfather said, nature is far greater than us, that we should never complain about nature. And in the wintertime, sometimes I hear people complaining about the cold. My grandfather taught me that you should never complain about nature. So when it gets cold outside, windy or rainy, I don't complain, but I give thanks, because nature provides for us. And where I come from, our people get very excited and happy when the strong north winds come, because the north winds provide food for us. All kinds of food wash up on our beaches, on our shores. So that's why we should be appreciative of nature, because it provides for us. And one day I was driving into work. It was a beautiful day. It was warm, so I rolled my window down, and there was lots of cottonwood flying around in the air, and I'm allergic to it. And in my mind, I started to complain about the cottonwood, but I remembered what my grandfather taught me. So I pulled my car over, and I began to speak to the cottonwood. And I said, please forgive me for complaining. Please forgive me for complaining. Thank you for the trees. Thank you for the leaves. Thank you for the oxygen that you provide. So please forgive me for complaining. Because the leaves, the trees, they can hear you speak to them. And you must respect them because they provide for us, just like how the plants provide oxygen for us. So it helps us to survive. So that's the Masingka way of life, and that is how you treat nature with respect. You treat Mother Earth with respect. You treat the animals with respect, people, creator, ancestors, and your spirit helpers. It's important to have a positive relationship with all these things that I mentioned to you. So, one of the ways that I teach people how to have relationships with people is every single one of us in this community, we help make up the community. It doesn't matter if you're a janitor, a bus driver, a hunter, a parent, a teacher, a doctor, a healer. We all help make up a community. So, one of the things that I teach my children is if you go to the gas station, you make sure you thank the people that work there because you're not able to purchase what you want from the gas station. So, you thank them before you leave. And one day I was at Diamond Center here in Anchorage, and I accidentally spilled my drink. And I was worried that someone might slip, and I couldn't leave that location because I had nothing to clean it with or dry it with. So I called my husband, who happened to work there at the Diamond Center, and I said, "Could you please send someone to come clean the spill I accidentally made?" And he said, "Sure." And a janitor came, and I stayed in that location because I was worried about people getting hurt. And I stayed there until the janitor finished. And I looked at the janitor and I said, "Thank you for taking care of this place. Thank you for coming to clean this mess." And he looked at me and gave me a big smile. So if we were to take away all the janitors from every workplace and every school, what are we going to do without the janitors? You might as well go scrub the toilet yourself. Let's take away every person that works at the grocery store. You might as well go get your own food. And guess what? It doesn't come packaged, so you have to do it yourself. If I was out in the wild by myself, what are my chances of survival? I know how to hunt and fish. I'll be okay with that part. But I don't know how to build a structure to protect me from the cold and from the wind. Then someone comes along. Maybe they know how to build a structure. My chances of survival just increase because now I have someone who's going to help keep me warm in a structure. And then someone comes along. Maybe they know how to fix things, and the person and I that are together don't know how to fix things. The two of us, our chances of survival just increase because now we have someone that knows how to fix things. Maybe the three of us don't know how to prepare food or cook food. Then someone comes along who knows how to prepare food and cook. Our chances of survival just increase because now we have someone that knows how to cook. Maybe we don't have a healer or a doctor, and someone comes along who could take care of people, their injuries or their illnesses. Our chances of survival just increase because now we have someone that can take care of us. And that is what I mean by every single one of us who live in these places. We all need each other. The human race, we need each other for survival purposes. And that is why it is important for us to take care of each other and to respect one another. Because a janitor is not just a janitor. Someone who's a hunter is not just a hunter because the hunter takes care of his community. So let's take care of each other, help one another, and learn from one another. And that is what I wanted to share with you today about how to be a Masingka. And that's just the tip of the iceberg that I shared with you today. Thank you for listening to me.